A single diamond can cost $10,000, $20,000, sometimes even $100,000. People save for years just to buy one. They propose with it, protect it, insure it, pass it down through generations. But here's the question. What if I told you that one of the world's most expensive luxury items isn't actually rare? In fact, the entire reason you believe diamonds are priceless might be the greatest marketing success in human history. And once you know the story, you'll never look at a diamond the same way again. Because by the end of this video, you'll discover why a diamond that costs $10,000 today might sell for only a fraction of that tomorrow. Walk into almost any jewelry store and you'll hear the same story. This diamond is rare. This one is unique. This one is incredibly valuable. Sounds convincing until you ask one simple question. If diamonds are so rare, why does every jewelry store have hundreds of them? Here's something most people don't know. Every year, miners recover well over 100 million carats of diamonds from the earth, enough to supply jewelry stores around the world, year after year. So no, diamonds aren't rare in the way most people imagine. Gold? There's a limited amount above ground. Certain gemstones. Some truly are extremely scarce. But diamonds? They're found on multiple continents, and modern mining has uncovered enormous deposits. So why do we still think they're incredibly rare? That's where the story gets fascinating, because the value of diamonds wasn't built by nature alone. It was built by people. And one company has changed the way the entire world thought about love, marriage, and luxury. The strangest part? Before the 1900s, most engagement rings didn't even have diamonds. So, how did that suddenly change? For centuries, diamonds really were rare. Kings owned them, queens wore them, and for most ordinary people, seeing a diamond in real life was almost impossible. Then everything changed. In 1867, a young boy named Erasmus Jacobs was playing beside a river in South Africa when he noticed a strange, shiny stone lying among ordinary pebbles. At first, nobody thought much of it, but that little rock turned out to be a 21-carat diamond. That single discovery sparked one of the greatest treasure hunts in history. Almost overnight, thousands of people left their homes. Farmers abandoned their fields, workers quit their jobs, and ships arrived carrying dreamers from every corner of the world. Everyone believed they were just one lucky discovery away from becoming rich. Within just a few years, South Africa wasn't finding a handful of diamonds anymore. It was finding millions. And suddenly, the world had an unexpected problem. Not a shortage of diamonds, too many. Now, that might sound like good news, but if your business depends on people believing diamonds are rare, finding millions of them is the last thing you want. So here's the question. If millions of diamonds were being discovered, why didn't prices collapse? Because one man had a completely different plan. He wasn't going to mine fewer diamonds. He was going to control them. All of them. That man was Cecil Rhodes. Instead of competing with other miners, he started buying them. One mine became two became 10, and the empire kept growing. By 1888, he founded a company called De Beers. Over the next few decades, De Beers controlled almost every major diamond mine in the world. Imagine if one company owned nearly every Apple, Samsung, and Google phone factory. That's the kind of control they had. And when you control the supply, you control the price, but controlling the diamonds was only half the battle. The real challenge was convincing millions of ordinary people that owning a diamond wasn't just a luxury, it was a necessity. Here's something that might surprise you. Before the 1930s, diamond engagement rings weren't a universal tradition. Many couples exchanged simple gold bands. Some used family heirlooms. And plenty of people didn't exchange rings at all. So how did diamonds become almost mandatory? The answer wasn't romance. It was advertising. By the late 1930s, diamond sales were slowing down. The Great Depression had devastated the economy, and people were focused on survival, not luxury. That was a huge problem for De Beers. If people stopped buying diamonds, their entire business model was in trouble. So instead of giving up, they hired one of the smartest advertising agencies in America. But they weren't looking for a better slogan. They wanted something much bigger. They wanted to change the way people thought about love itself. And that's exactly what they did. Instead of saying, buy this shiny rock, they sold an emotion. Love, commitment. A promise that would last forever. Advertisements suddenly appeared everywhere. Hollywood stars wore sparkling diamond rings. Magazines filled their pages with glamorous proposals. Movies quietly reinforced the same message over and over again, slowly, almost without anyone noticing. People stopped asking, do I really want a diamond? Instead, they started asking, how could I possibly propose without one? That tiny shift changed everything. Because once an idea becomes part of culture, it no longer feels like advertising. It feels like tradition. Then, in 1947, a copywriter named Francis Garrity wrote just 4 simple words. A diamond is forever. Simple, elegant, unforgettable. It wasn't just a slogan, it became something much bigger. It became a belief. From that moment on, a diamond wasn't just another piece of jewelry. It became the symbol of eternal love. And once an idea becomes a symbol, people stop questioning it. Think about it for a second. Imagine waking up tomorrow and discovering that somehow the entire world had agreed that true love only counted if you proposed with a purple toaster. Sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? But convincing billions of people that love required a diamond wasn't much easier. Yet somehow they pulled it off. And it worked. Far better than anyone could have imagined. Imagine this. You walk into a jewelry store and buy a beautiful diamond ring for $10,000. You wear it for years. You protect it. You insure it. Maybe you even plan to pass it down one day. Then life changes. And you decide to sell it. Naturally, you expect it to be worth almost what you paid. Maybe a little less. But still, pretty close, except that's usually not what happens. In many cases, you'll be offered only a fraction of the original price, sometimes less than half, sometimes far less. And that's the moment many people realize. They didn't buy an investment, they bought a luxury product. Here's why. Unlike gold, which has a global market price, diamonds don't have one universal resale value. Every single diamond is judged differently. Its size, its color, its clarity, its cut. Even tiny differences can dramatically change what someone is willing to pay. But there's another reason, one that most people never think about. There isn't a shortage of diamonds. There never really was. For decades, the diamond industry carefully controlled how many stones reached the market. Not because there weren't enough, but because flooding the market would make diamonds feel ordinary. Scarcity wasn't just protected underground, it was protected inside people's minds. And here's the craziest part of all. The greatest product they ever sold wasn't actually the diamond. It was something you can't even hold. An idea. Think about it. A tiny crystal formed deep beneath the Earth's surface over millions of years became the universal symbol of love. Not because nature decided it, because marketing did. One advertising campaign changed traditions across generations. Parents passed the idea to their children, movies repeated it, celebrities reinforced it. And eventually, the message became so deeply rooted that almost nobody stopped to ask where it came from. And that's what makes this story so remarkable. The greatest achievement wasn't discovering diamonds, it was convincing billions of people that a diamond was the only way to say, I love you. That's not just advertising, that's changing culture itself. So the next time you walk past a jewelry store, or Notice a sparkling diamond ring? Remember, you're not just looking at a beautiful gemstone. You're looking at one of the most successful marketing stories ever created. A story that changed the way millions of people think about love, commitment, and even value itself. And maybe that's what makes history so fascinating. And sometimes the biggest forces that shape our world aren't wars or inventions or even governments. Sometimes they're simply ideas that everyone eventually accepts as truth. If this story made you see the world a little differently, I'd love to have you here for the next one. Because some of history's biggest secrets are hiding in the most ordinary things. Until next time.